when we stay at Granny's during the holidays. Our parents do not realise about most of the things we get up to when we are staying at Granny's. We try not to tell them, because if they knew even half of it, they might stop us going. Luckily, Granny doesn't spill the beans to our parents because, even though Granny is keen on telling the truth, she isn't one of life's telltales. My sister Bella, who is at university, says there is nothing to do in Muddlemore, but Bella is wrong, because even though Granny doesn't live near a beach or a theme park, and even though she doesn't have many toys in her cottage, apart from some Lego that used to belong to Mum and Uncle Marcus when they were our age, me, Tom and Pip never get bored when we are staying with her, not even when it's raining. That's because at Granny's, we have to keep our wits about us at all times. That's just something you have to put up with if your Granny lives in a dangerous neighbourhood. Once I told Granny that she is lucky to have us around to keep her safe. But when I said this, her eyes went all crinkly, and she said, "Keep me on my toes, more like." And then she got the hysterics. Granny gets the hysterics all the time, because she thinks a lot of things in life are funny, even stuff that most grown-ups think are serious. But at the end of the Easter holidays, Granny did not get the giggles until right at the end. First of all, she was quite cross, and then she got a bit worried, and then she was really cross all over again. But we didn't mind as much as we normally would, because even though we prefer it when Granny is not cross, we weren't actually sorry about what we had done. Deep down, we were relieved that we had been around to keep an eye on Granny because, the thing is, she needed us, as you're about to find out. Chapter 2. At the start of the holidays, I was late getting to Granny's because Mum's car broke down just after we set off from our flat in London. Luckily, Mum knew what the problem was. There were loads of leaves stuck in the car's exhaust pipe because Mum always parks it under a half-dead sycamore tree. Mum said that when a car's exhaust is blocked, the engine won't work. Mum and I spent ages on the side of the road pulling out all the mushy leaves with our fingers, but eventually the car started and we managed to drive all the way to Granny's without stopping. By the time we'd arrived and taken the bags out of the car and eaten a Jaffa cake, it was nearly lunchtime. Mum and Uncle Marcus told Granny they were going to stay for a quick lunch before driving home. Mum and Uncle Marcus think Granny's cooking is the best on the planet because she is their mum and they grew up eating it. As soon as lunch started, Uncle Marcus started talking. When Uncle Marcus starts talking, it can get quite boring, because he is a know-it-all and likes to tell you everything he knows in one helping. Me, Tom, and Pip gobbled down our spaghetti bolognese really quickly because we hadn't seen each other for ages, and we wanted to leave the table as soon as possible to get away from the grown-ups. But Uncle Marcus and Mum were having a discussion about the Prime Minister, and it slightly turned into an argument because Mum and Uncle Marcus get into arguments about most topics of conversation, especially the Prime Minister. When Mum and Uncle Marcus argue, none of us can get a word in edgeways, which is unusual for me because I am known for being a chatterbox, except I prefer talking about the FA Cup or how to make slime. In the end, I interrupted to ask if we could leave the table because we had finished our lunch, but Uncle Marcus said that it was good for children to be involved in adult conversation. Tom pointed out that we weren't exactly involved in the conversation, because he, Uncle Marcus, was doing most of the talking. But Uncle Marcus just laughed and asked Granny and Mum what they thought about the state of the economy. It turned out to be the longest lunch ever. Even longer than the lunch in the posh restaurant Mum won vouchers for at the school summer fair, when we had to eat 9 courses without a break, and I wasn't allowed